You are listening to Core, a show on Code Zero Radio that plays bands located in the Fox Cities. A show to find and discover new music. Hosted by Andy McNamara.
Hello everybody, welcome to Fox Cities Core on WCZR Code Zero Radio. I'm your host Andy McNamara. Want to remind you guys that we've got a lot of great programming on WCZR Code Zero Radio. One of the shows I wanted to highlight today is a show called Zip Code Zero with Bob Minter. Airs live every Monday and Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It goes for 2 hours each night, and Bob's the architect of WCZR, playing lots of great rock music from the Fox Cities and beyond. Got another great show for you tonight. It's the Roving Scallywags, and I want to tell you a little bit about them. They formed in the summer of 2014. The band's sound ranges from fast punk to Irish ballads. There truly is a little bit for everybody. We're hitting their busy time of the year. They won a Whammy Award for Folk and Celtic Band at the Wisconsin Area Music Awards, and they were nominated the 3 prior years before that. It brings me great joy to introduce the Roving Scallywags, Fox Cities Core. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is the most people I've ever had in here, so it'll be a logistic nightmare, but I'm looking forward to the conversation. So, as mentioned in the intro, this is your busy time, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Do you enjoy this time of year, or is it sort of a stressful month for you guys?
It's usually an enjoyable experience. For some reason, I always get a cold or something before the week of St. Patrick's Day, so I'm always fighting to keep my voice. But it is a lot of fun. It is good to go and play a lot of rapid fire shows and then have a little bit of time. Not necessarily off, but then go back down to 1 or 2 shows a month, instead of like 5 in a week.
Yeah. We're not that busy this year, but we got 3 or 4. I think we have 3.
1, 2, 3.
We have 3.
Yeah.
But they're all within 4 days?
Something like that, yeah.
3 and 4 days.
Can we go around the table too and just introduce, say your name and what you do in the band?
Sure. Which direction?
I'll go first. I guess I'm Mark, play the guitar, play leads, and try singing, I'll do what I can. Play mandolin, play just about everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm Craig, I play bass, and I'm also the band whipping post.
Not wrong. I'm Kevin Huss. I'm the singer, acoustic guitar player, mandolin player, some electric guitar. I make fun of myself a lot.
I'm Chase Tyson. I play drums and I sing.
I'm Nick Ogden. I play electric guitar and I do a little bit of singing as well.
Great. And you guys formed in the summer of 2014. You were all in projects prior to that, and most of you knew each other at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It started, this is the new guy, our bass player. Craig's the new guy in the band. You could say, but it's been 8 years now.
Technically, when it comes to Scallywags, you're the newest member.
Yeah, I know.
Technically.
We've been jamming. Everyone else here in this room has been jamming.
So it actually kind of came around.
School.
Yeah, it already came around where we were already in a cover band together.
Mm-hmm.
And I always made a point to wanting to play some Irish songs and stuff around St. Patrick's Day. And it just kind of morphed. I always wanted to do an Irish rock band and sort of thing. And we had a lot of fun learning the songs. So I finally brought it up to the guys. I'm like, hey, I have this idea. Do you want to roll with me on it? See what happens. And thank God they came along for the ride. And it's, been 8 years now? That's crazy to think about.
2014, yeah. I don't even remember.
It was nice. Yeah, it was nice though because since we were all together in a band before, it made all we had to do is get to writing and doing something different than what we had done before. So the chemistry was already there, so we were able to hit the ground running.
The styles of the previous bands, what kind of genre were you guys playing before?
Your typical bar rock band. We were
Pretty
much a
much.
cover band, yeah.
Yeah.
So you pick any band that you can think of out in the area. That's pretty much what we were playing. The same music.
The typical cover band. The nice thing is we did pepper in some songs that we enjoyed too, or that were a little different. Some of the pop punk that we listened to back in the day, or like Beer by Real Big Fish and stuff like that too. So we always try to make sure that there's at least something for us. Otherwise, it's like, okay, here comes Summer '69 again. Here comes Jesse's Girl again. Yeah. Nothing against those songs, but you play them time and time again, they just get
people want to hear.
Yeah, they get so redundant. So this was a nice breath of fresh air to be able to do something different.
And you guys are known for your live show. Obviously, a very energetic live show, which it sounds like what you're doing prior was very energetic as well.
Oh, we did. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Was the response to, like, I don't think there's a lot of Celtic bands in the Fox Cities. Did that response from starting that kind of change the momentum as far as the audience makeup?
It did.
I would say, now we actually have, a following compared to like what we were. It was just people showing up at the bar. And then now we actually have people that will travel to come see our shows. So
that's pretty
cool.
Quick shout out to the Small Town Delinquents. We did have a couple like fans, I would say. Now with the Roving Scallywags, like you're right, people will travel.
And they actually make a point to come to shows when we announce them. People get excited about actually us playing. We've been in. We played our first show in 15 months back in January? Yeah, January.
Yeah, January.
And because we were on a hiatus between not only the quarantine and lockdown, but then after that we had a hard time. We all have day jobs, we have families. Excuse me. So we were having a tough time getting together and working on stuff. So we just kind of took a little bit of time off. So we came back for our first show, and it was great because people were excited about it. As soon as we told them, like when we said we were going on hiatus, people were like, "No, you can't. You guys can't leave. You can't break up." I said, "I didn't say anything about breaking up. We're just going on hiatus for a little bit." And as soon as we mentioned that we were coming back, people got excited. So that was a really cool feeling to have.
Yeah.
Versus just playing week in and week out, in a cover band where it's like, some people might show up, some people might not,
So you guys recorded a album or an EP at first that was supposed to be an EP, and then you just kind of let it be demos, and then you recorded a EP of traditional Irish songs, which you have labeled as a demo as well. And then in 2019, you recorded Rise, which is just a great, very powerful piece of work.
Thank you.
So what kind of made those first couple releases just be labeled demo?
We were trying to figure out recording because we've produced them all ourselves, and actually Mark is the producer extraordinaire for this. Like, he's the one that really got into
Don't give me too much credit.
He's our sound engineer.
Yeah, the engineer.
He has an alter ego. We call him Was Nasty.
Yeah, that's what he does. His rap stuff.
Oh, Was Nasty. We know that. They were supposed to give that away.
That's what you guys start with, Nasty
Now
Studios.
everyone knows. Jeez.
But we were trying to work our way through the recording process, and we started off in a garage, and he was kind of working on the nuts and bolts of the software, and we just never felt like it got good enough, and we just demoed the stuff out, and we kind of shelved it for a little bit. And then when we got a little bit better of a setup, we decided to do some demos for other traditional songs to be able to release to Irish festivals and just to show what we could do as a band. And again, that kind of came out as just like an online only, like this is what we can kind of do sort of thing. By the time we hit to Rise, that was when I think we felt like we had it down where we could put out a record that sounded good and it, kind of have that punk rock DIY ethos of, you know what, we don't have a lot of money as a band to go into a really nice studio and spend the time. Hell with it. Let's just do it at home, work with it, make it sound as good as we can, and then release it. And we can always just build from there. If we decide to go into a studio later, the recordings will sound better and better. We just released that.
Kind of like that fact or whatever. You can see the progression that the band's taking.
Absolutely. We're releasing a new single, St. Patrick's Biggest Fan, next Saturday, and listening to that compared to Rise is just absolutely insane.
Night and day.
Yep. Having better microphones, having a little more
knowledge
behind
the
it. Yep, exactly. And like I said, a lot of that goes to Mark because he definitely he pushed a lot of it and just kept learning and kept if living up in Green Bay, like the rest of us still live in the valley, there's a lot of times where you're just sitting in the basement and you're like, okay, what can I do
here? A lot
here?
of YouTube.
Yep.
Watching people working on that software on YouTube.
So I know Kevin, you've done, well, all you guys, you did a thing at Rock Garden Live. You released that as a live album. Do you ever kind of think like, wow, maybe if I went to a studio, we wouldn't have to stress out about that part of it, or
yes,
or do you like the punishment? Because like you said,
fun. I don't mind messing around with it. It's quite fun, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of nice having, the ability to take it at our own leisure rather than having to pay by the hour. Then it would be very serious and kind of take the fun out of it.
A lot less pressure.
Well, and not only that, it's our ears that get to listen to it, and it's our decision of what we want to change in it. And instead, you hire someone, it's under their discretion. You don't know exactly what you're getting. Yeah, right. It's their vision. So.
But that also can be the nice thing about going into a studio is you do have someone that's producing it.
Sword.
That someone outside the band can be like, hey, check this out, try this. Maybe do this a little different, and kind of is another person. The one thing is I can never listen to Rise Again because we heard it so many times while we're trying to get do everything.
Definitely.
We refuse to. I refuse to have us master our own record ever again. Like we have Jonathan Leahy who mastered our new single because we're too close to it and we hear it constantly. It's like okay, and I know Mark Goldie has said the same thing. He's like, you know what? I never master the stuff I work on. I give it to someone else because by the time I've moved everything around, my head's too far into it. So now I give it to someone else, and they can put fresh ears on it and kind of work around it. So I think that's the one thing. But yeah, would it be nice if we had everything written and done? Absolutely, it'd be great. We could easily go into the studio and get it done quickly. I think the problem we run into is we kind of write songs and okay, let's just record this one, see how it goes. And we got about 7 songs ready for our new record, and we stopped working on that to go out and play some shows, and we just want to test some of them. Give people some of the new songs to hear for the first time. I like getting some reaction from people and kind of seeing like, ooh, I got some eyebrow raises on that one. That's kind of cool, So I always like to road test stuff before we decide to put them on records, just for fun.
Say recently, a lot of the writing that we were doing was kind of just on the fly. Like we were going, I have this idea, and then we record a part, we listen to it. All right, let's add this to it. Let's add this. Let's try doing that. And a lot of the stuff when we were singing, I remember we'd sing one part. Well, let's add some harmony. So we'd go into piano, figure out what we want to do with the voice, and then we'd try it out. Oh, we didn't like that. Let's try this way. So a lot of it was build right on the go. So it was kind of like that.
Yeah.
Just building a puzzle basically, but with music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unless you're the Beatles, you can't go into a studio and write an album.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a
exactly.
good documentary if you haven't watched it on Disney. Yeah.
do you feel pressure since you're sort of writing for a certain genre now? I mean,
No. Not me, at least.
So I mean, there's not a feeling where we have to write sort of an Irish sounding song and not just a punk song or punk rock.
Most of my music really isn't Irish. It's just got the theme of it, kind of. So.
And I think a lot of it is instrumentation as well. Like he's got some really good ideas for some songs that wouldn't fit the Scallywags necessarily, but if you start messing with the instrumentation and instead of doing this part on the guitar, maybe this on the mandolin or the acoustic or something like that, it would probably work. So it's just a matter of write whatever you want to write, and then okay, let's see what we could do. Maybe do something with the pacing of it, or instrumentation wise, do something to kind of help fit into that. Like we don't have a fiddle player, we've got Mark though. He's our secret weapon that. You listen to the leads that he's playing, and he's basically playing the fiddle on the guitar, which is kind of cool. So it's kind of nice to have that that skill set there.
And there are songs where there's 3 guitarists. Does that get kind of hard to manage? I know, Kevin, you're normally playing, it seems like acoustic when you get it, but when you're writing, is it hard to incorporate 3 guitars? It's just kind of thickening it up a little bit?
No, not really. Just whatever it feels necessary. So eat it, we'll throw it in there. If it makes it sound better, yeah, might as well.
Yeah, and like I know Pirate's Life, which Nick sings, it was just always Mark and I on guitar, but he's been working on kind of learning the guitar part as well. I mean, that's just a hard-hitting, like heavy song. Having 3 guitars seems excessive, but for a song like that drives forward, it's just a wall of sound, but articulated sound. It's not like it's one of those things where you used to go to basement shows and have your ears ringing by the end of it. It just thickens it up to the point where it's like, oh, you're serious right now. Like this is a really hard-hitting song. Otherwise, between Mark and Nick one playing bar chords, one playing standard chords, and me on the acoustic, you get this nice, wide wide layer, or I'll be in the mandolin instead of
A nice full
that.
chord behind every
Yeah.
note.
Exactly.
It's a huge texture thing too with these guys because every single one of them plays completely different, and it's fun coming from my standpoint where you're listening to all this stuff kind of come together. It's like I'll hear something that's Nick doing, and it'll be completely different than what Mark's doing, and it's like, oh, that is so cool. Just hearing how that kind of weaves in and out between each guitar part, stuff like that, and then of course Kevin playing the acoustic, you got to get that nice fresh layer of just something that's more acoustic rather than plugging through an amp. It's cool to kind of feel that, and it shows definitely when we play, especially when we're listening to like Pirate's Life, of course. But then you go into something where like Mark's playing mandolin, and then for country is of his own, or if we're playing Whiskey Confessions, you got 2 electric guitars and then the acoustic guitar. I mean, it's just the texture there for each song is created specifically with each of our tastes in mind, and it works really well.
Last year we had the Irish Fest of the Fox Cities, the inaugural. I don't think the band played, but Kevin, you performed. Was it a duo?
Yeah, it was supposed to be my trio, and my four-on player ended up with the COVIDs at the
COVID,
time.
yeah.
So myself and Travis Hyatt, a mandolin player, we played a duo thing, and then I threw a last minute. They wanted an after party at McGinnis Irish Pub, so I threw together a last minute Irish rock band called the Wild Night and Era, which was basically just Scallywags Light is what I would call it. It was basically just myself on guitar, Travis Hyatt on guitar and mandolin and bouzouki, Mike Cool on bass, and Jonathan Leahy on drums. So
Not many people know what bazookies are. What are those, Kevin?
it's an oversized mandolin, basically. We'll just
There
call
you
it that.
It's like
know.
a lute, except it's not a lute.
Yeah.
So any takeaways on the festival? Is it something, have you heard if it's going to come back?
I believe, yeah, it sounds like it's going to be coming back this next year. It sounds like it went really well. I think Appleton, this is just me personally, I think Appleton is a better spot for it than it used to be in Oshkosh. And nothing against Oshkosh, but Appleton has more of a thriving music and cultural scene. Whereas if it happened while there was kids in college in Oshkosh, I think it might have been a little different. But it was going good for, from what I could see, it was going good for a while, but it was kind of on its tail end. So I think it's nice to see it coming to Appleton and into Jones Park. It's not an ideal setup for something like that because, of course, you have security and stuff that you have to worry about and everything. But I think they did an amazing job with it this last year, and hopefully it's for many years to come. I don't have the insight. I'm just a musician, but from hearing from the organizers of it, it sounded like it went over really well. And City of Appleton was pretty happy. The police chief gave him a shout out and said, "Hey, we didn't have a whole lot of issues, and the issues that they did have weren't really related to the
true
festival."
Irishmen, I guess.
Well, it seemed like the schedules they had, it was very extensive with I think St. Mary's Church, they had something, McGinnis's, it's kind of sprawled out, almost like a kind of a Mile of Music Oktoberfest type thing.
Yeah, and the only thing from a musician side that I thought was interesting is, since we were playing in one of the tents, which was kind of by the front, by the expo center, when there was a band playing on the main stage, the echo would come off of the wall of the exhibition center and come into the tent. So as long as we were playing, it was fine. But in the middle of talking, I was doing a storyteller's kind of show, and I think Gaelic Storm fired up at the same time that I was doing that. So I'm trying to tell the story about Irish Rebellion and tell this bit of story about Grace Gifford, and I'm hearing their song, come out, Raised on Blackened's Hands coming freshly into it, like with this delay. I'm like, you know what, it's fine. So that's the only thing I thought was interesting is because of that wall, but it's Jones Park. It's meant to actually shoot it back and come back in. The main stage is kind of what is what it's supposed to be. So having a separate stage is nice because if you want to get away from what's going on there, I mean, I saw the Gleasons for the first time this year, which is like a Irish rock band, I believe out of Milwaukee area, somewhere in there. Never seen them before, and they put on one hell of a show, and that's what's nice about having like a separate stage is you could see other people and other acts that maybe don't have time on the main stage so it was really cool, and a lot of good vendors and stuff, and I guess working out the kinks with the food and beer and everything. It was our first year, and hopefully many more.
How Irish are you guys?
I'm 0.
I am a very small percentage, like less than 10%.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like a quarter Irish.
Yeah, I drink like an Irishman, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
I think we all do.
Yeah, I'm a little bit Irish in my mom's side of the family, dad's side of the family. I don't remember which one.
Well, so what got you into the style and the Irish heritage?
When my sister was in 6th grade, so that would have put me in 4th grade, I think. She started taking Irish dance lessons, and that was the first time I had heard like jigs and reels and Irish music, proper Irish music for the first time, and I fell in love with it. And it always was something that stuck in the back of my head. And as I was growing up, I got into punk rock and everything like that. And when I heard the Pogues for the first time, my mind was blown. I'm like, wait, you can play punk rock and Irish music at the same time? And then, of course, bands like Flogging Molly and the Dropkick Murphys came out and kind of reinstated that in my brain, where I was like, I could take two of my loves, because shortly after she started dancing is when I heard like the Clancy Brothers, and I started getting into the more balladeer side of things, the Dubliners, the Wolf Tones, and it really hit me in a strong way. So years and years later, this band was kind of like a 9-10 year want list, like on my list of bands I always wanted to be in or start. It just took a while to get going and get the took the motivation to get going, and I'm just happy that it ended up working out. So,
well, this is the point in the show. It's a very highly popular part of the show. It's called Band Reaction, where we play a previous guest. We get your reaction afterwards. This is from a clip from the show last week. We had Leading the Blind on, which is a great hard rock band from the Fox Cities. So let's get to it. Band Reaction. Band Reaction. Band Reaction. We talked about Mike's awesome hammering of the drums. You guys practice in a space similar to this. It's kind of a bricked basement. Do you guys wear ear protection when you practice?
I do.
So do I,
Yep.
unless I forget it, which is probably 70% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't until like my 30s, but then ever since getting the ringing in the ears, you realize you have to do something, otherwise you're going to be deaf someday.
Yep.
Especially, sometimes it's too late when you notice you've got a problem.
Yeah.
Do you wear ear protection when you play live shows?
I don't personally. I haven't made that jump yet, but I'm sure it's coming. There's just something about I've got to, and to my own detriment, probably eventually I'm going to pay for it, but it helps me. I've got to be able to hear everything the right way somehow, like clearly, and obviously if I don't use protection soon, I'm not going to be able to hear everything as clearly, but I've got to be able to hear the vocals. I've got to be able to hear, the rhythm section well.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
Do you guys wear ear protection?
Not so much. We so in our basement where I live right now, I actually got an electronic drum kit, so we keep everything at a pretty reasonable level. But when I lived in Larson, the garage was okay, but then I moved everything into the house, and that was all drywall, and it was loud. It would ring.
What?
Yeah.
And that's when I started wearing earplugs or headphones or something to help mute it. But now, in my basement, I got acoustic ceiling tile or whatever, so it's pretty good. And plus, we can manage the heavy hitter over there, Chase.
Yeah, Chase is
Keep him quiet.
Chase is another animal.
Yeah.
I mean, standing next to him, hitting the cymbals, it's the ringing in my ears. I think I've got some partial hearing loss going on.
Yeah, you could probably blame Chase for that.
You gotta play your instrument like a sport,
Yeah.
man.
I don't blame you.
Well, and I really should, because I got tinnitus in the ears. Yeah, but my problem is like he was saying, like especially when you play live, I need to hear everything. And we've tried using in-ear monitors before, and they're good when you can get them dialed in, but it's just so different. Like it seems like it pulls for me, it feels like it pulls me away from the crowd. Whereas if I just have a wedge coming at me so I can hear it, I can hear when someone's heckling me, and usually in a good way. I mean, we'll say this about our fans and a lot of our diehard fans that are at a lot of our shows is they're, in between songs, they're going to shout something at you, whether it's a request for a song or just that you suck.
Like Mr. Hatch.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where it's like, it's about a community, and it feels that I always say that we try to bring the pub everywhere we go. If we're playing a sports bar, we want to bring the Irish pub and the feel of the Irish pub and that community to you. So it was weird when we played the first time with the in-ear monitors, and like I'm singing and it keeps popping out. So like now I'm getting cymbals going into this ear at a louder volume. And
That show was just a weird one in general, because that was the last day before everyone had to shut everything down, because that was
that was the Saturday before the world shut down.
And that was we played the last day, and then after that bars had to shut down. But that was the first time we tried in-ears, and that was different.
So for people that aren't familiar with in-ears, it's molded to fit your ears, and I've personally never worn them during a show. Does it cut out everything?
Doesn't cut everything out, but it does put you in your own environment. Once you put it in there, you don't hear everything perfectly. It's all muffled. But when the in-ears, you're totally in your own. So you need to be able to hear your guitar. You want to hear everything that you want in those, and it is different. I always have to have just one in if I'm using it, then keep the other one out, so I'm still keeping within what's actually happened with the real noise.
Yeah.
So.
And then you sit back here. I hate in-ears. I really do, and it's a shame because I'm the loudest one in the band. But it's
probably should be wearing them.
Hey. But since we play smaller places and stuff like that, it comes down to I'd rather hear everything that's going on rather than just isolate myself. I mean, I feed on energy. I mean, vibrations mostly. I mean, I've been playing for 20 years. My ears are getting pretty shot by now. So I've kind of learned to adjust everything. Hey, shh. You're funny. I learned to kind of adjust myself to listen to more of a vibration than actual things. I mean, a lot of times I sit back there and I got my eyes closed and I'm playing, because that's mainly just feeling everything around me. I mean, I gotta listen for harmonies and stuff like that, but everything has a vibration, so it's kind of like a mix of both. I'd rather have like that wall of sound coming at me rather than isolate myself in my own room. Personally, that'd drive me crazy. I mean, it's kind of a mess up there some days, so.
You're listening to vibrations like Beethoven or Mozart?
Yeah,
Beethoven or whatever.
Beethoven,
I know. I did that on purpose.
No,
Beethoven.
That's really what it is. I mean, Beethoven was deaf. He learned
put his ear to the ground. He cut all the legs off his piano so that he could just put his head to the ground and write music.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Hey, I went the complete opposite way. I'm like, wait, you're one of the worms from Tremors? You're just seeking things out with.
Yeah, I'm blind. I called you. Where are you?
As you can see, these guys keep it classy. I am completely not.
So now, being the style of music you are, is there, obviously you're playing at McGinnis's a lot, I'm guessing.
Haven't in a while.
We haven't in a while, but we did. That was pretty much our home ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What other places in Appleton and the Fox Cities area have you guys performed?
Appleton Beer Factory.
Yeah, we played Appleton Beer Factory, and that's where we're going to be on St. Patrick's Day this year.
Have we played Deja Vu?
We did one time. We played band? Deja Vu once with the band.
I know, the Small Town Delinquents.
We played out in Greenville at third base.
Oh, yep, third base. Yep. That's where I got my piano, because they told me if I could just get it home, I could have it.
Yeah, that's right.
We played Green's Poorhouse in Nina.
Green's Poorhouse. That one, that
was a while ago.
Yeah, but that where they stick you right between all the windows.
It's a little cramped.
No, like a dry place.
Right in the front window.
There you go. But yeah, when you have three windows around you, it's really hard with the noise.
It's called the Old 41 Pub now, but it used to be
CC Saloon. CNC Saloon or whatever, but yeah, that's
the one in Nina on Green Bay Road. Yeah,
it was the CNC.
Played there
Saloon.
on St. Patrick's Day, or no, it wasn't on St. Patrick's Day. It was the weekend before.
No, it was.
It was. That's right. So we had there. We've been. I don't know. It's been way too long, but yeah, we've tried to get out there, and the nice thing is nice and hard thing is like we said, since we're kind of a niche band. once you talk someone into like giving you a chance, or they listen to it and they enjoy it, the nice thing is we come in, and most of the times when we play, people, not to toot our own horn, but people are blown away, and they're like, oh wow, you guys actually put on a show, like this is really cool. So a lot of times we'll have a chance to get back and play places that aren't necessarily Irish pubs, and that's really what it is. It's a live show, and we kind of put our foot down where we said, we'll cover a 3-hour block. This whole cover band, we're gonna, we want you to play, 3 sets a 4-hour night. It just gets old and redundant really fast. So basically, we'll play like at an hour 15, hour 20-minute set, take a short break, and then come back and do a second set, and then we're done.
I think that's to do it. I don't know why most bands don't. It's so nice.
Or play with other bands. Have an open, that's always what was nice about playing at the Lyric Room when we came back was, playing with Smoke Free Home and Wasted Pretty and ourselves is, okay, we only have to worry about playing for an hour and a half. The other bands take up that. I love nothing more than a multi-band bill. You get to hang out. You get to, you just kind of wait for your turn, or you're the first one up. You get to play, and then you get off the stage, and you're just like, okay, I can hang out and enjoy the rest of the night and the rest of the show. We're opening up for the Tossers up in Green Bay at the Lyric Room on the 19th of March, which is exciting because it's a band that I've listened to for years, so I'm excited to be able to share the stage with them. And we're the opening band. We play for 35 minutes, and
no, we just
get to enjoy the rest of the night.
Enjoy music.
Hang out behind the merch at the merch booth, and hopefully sell a couple T-shirts and CDs.
Yeah, I sold 1 T-shirt at our last show, so
I'm
proud of myself.
Yeah, proud of himself.
I had a question for you guys. This one is for Chase. I mean, do you guys have kids?
Yes, I have 2 kids. I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I am the only one.
We've got somebody here. What's your name?
Alana.
Your dad is the one beating the drums, right? How is it? Do you like having a dad that plays music?
Yes.
So you're a fan of the band? You get to go to a lot of shows?
Yes.
I'd say she's our number 1 fan.
I've sang in one of their shows before.
You sang in one of the shows?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, I mean, how do you guys, like, is it harder having a family all played in projects for quite a while? Is it hard to play shows, get together to practice, record, all that kind of stuff with a family schedule?
It does. It's
half for nodding yes, half for nodding no.
I don't have a family, so it's pretty easy for me, but
well,
still got to work around that schedule with him.
That's the big thing. I mean, 3 of us are married, 1's engaged, 1's got himself.
Yeah.
And his cat.
I've got Jill.
And his cat.
I got Jill.
1's in love with himself.
Yeah. And I'm the only one that has kids, and I mean, with my wife at home, and then my daughter, she's in quite a few things. So I mean, during the week, it's like I get home from work, I bring her to this, or we do that. And then during the weekend, once the summer hits, all of a sudden softball starts, and then I got to make sure that there's time that I'm with her, because I mean, time with your kids is so important at the same time, and then being able to fit in with these guys as well to play shows. I mean, we've all been doing this since we were in middle school, and it's just come to a point where it's a part of our lives, and it's hard. Once families and stuff get involved, it's like you also have to get your planner out and say, all right, this day, all right, we can do this day. Well, no, actually I can't because I got this going on. Oh, wait, I can do this day. No, he's got something going on. So it's like, it's to the point where we pick a day for practice, and we kind of work around little things that come up during the weekend. I mean, with families, things happen. They do. And you just kind of work around picking that day and just doing that day. And if something comes up, not a huge deal. But when it comes close to showtime and having like show schedule, having everybody there starts getting crucial. So, I mean, when we were recording, I mean, we'd have 2 or 3 of us together and we'd do parts. That was okay. But then shows. Everybody needs to be there. So it's, I shouldn't say it's a constant battle, but it's one of those things you just got to be in open communication with everybody, no matter who it is. It's really hard.
Yeah.
We had a question from Bob Minter. host of Zip Code Zero. He wants to know any plans for branded kilts at the merch table.
That is a good idea.
Wow, that's.
How much are you willing to pay? Because they're probably gonna be a pretty penny.
Oh, my wife actually has to finish the one that she made for me. We started making a few years back. It's the most god awful '90s kilt. So it's like fluorescent, like orange and green plaid. It's god awful. I have to have her finish that one. Maybe we'll sell those ones.
Oh, that'd be.
It's like it fell right out of Saved by the Bell. It's great.
Is it made out of that windbreaker material?
Oh my God, it should be.
That would be perfect.
You know, that's a great idea. We might have to look into that.
Talk to your wife.
Hey, this might have to happen. We're all '90s kids, so hey, more power.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, we need band kilts made now. A lot of them. We're gonna sell them.
Yeah, that is a good idea, though.
Do you guys have a lot of merch, a lot of different types of merch?
Just a little bit. I'd say we have shirts, we have shot glasses, we have can koozies, CDs, of course, stickers, but a lot of those we just kind of hand.
Yeah, a lot of stickers. I'm not one to usually sell stickers because people want them and want to tag their their vehicle or whatever. It gets the band name out there. It's kind of like a business card that comes out. But
what sells better, the shot glasses or the CDs?
We probably have to get some more shot glasses because I think all I have is like one cardboard box, or like 12 or so.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to say because when we first started out, we were actually selling the shot glasses and we didn't have any CDs. But now a lot of our fans already have the shot glasses, so like it's tapered back a little bit, but as of right now, I actually think the shot glasses are selling more.
Shot glasses are,
because a lot of people don't. A lot of people stream music nowadays or download it. So that's why when we pressed when we got the CDs, we only did like 100 at a time because I didn't want to have a bunch left over. So we're at our second run of our studio record.
You have to get live ones as well.
But the live one, and then we got. But that's where I saw on our first run. Oh. That's the problem is like a lot of people stream it, which is fine. I just didn't want to have a lot of CDs because honestly I don't even have a CD player anymore or working one. All my stuff has been moved onto digital. Like I've ripped them onto my computer and I have them in there. I still have the physical CDs in a thing in my house, but the CD player in my truck doesn't work, and I don't have one in my new computer. Doesn't have one, so it's kind of that going away. And I'd love to press it on vinyl because I love nothing more than to drop a needle on a record, but it's so expensive. We were gonna originally release a Rise on limited vinyl. And
then we'd have to cut like 2 songs.
We would have to cut songs
got
off.
11 songs on it already, so.
Yeah, so we're like, nah, we'll just skip that for now.
Yeah.
When you guys did the Rock Garden Live performance, did you know that you were going to release that as a live album going into it, or was that something after?
Yeah, that was
yeah, we had kind of talked about it because we were going to be filming for the Rock Garden Live anyway, and the Dirty Martinis actually had done the same thing. So I kind of took a piece out of their book. So Nate Smith, and thank you for that idea. Since everything's mic'd up anyway, we figured what the hell, why not? It gives us a chance.
I don't even think it was that much either. It was
no, a couple $100 just for the mastering of it. And what was great about it is we went in and I wanted to make sure that we had some new songs. So I think we have
the Mermaid Man,
the Mermaid. Excuse me. The Mermaid, Country of His Own. Yep. And then Parting Glass, which is just something that I always ended the shows with. We actually had a chance to get that on there. So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't a carbon copy of our studio record. So it was nice to get those songs out there. And I think the studio version of Country of His Own has actually changed a little bit since then. So that's what's kind of cool is this was the earliest stages of it. So now when we release that song on our next studio record, you'll be able to hear some of the differences behind it.
Can you tell me a little bit about this song? It's one of my favorite songs from you guys, To Friends and Family. Was that a kind of one of those songs that just came to you, or was it a song that you guys?
Yeah. That song basically, I was out in Larson. I remember just playing just those 3 chords, just A, D, and E, and I'm like,
I've been playing it wrong the whole time.
Oops. But I just remember playing that, and I had a melody just click in my head. I started thinking of like some lines, and then finally got like a chorus, and I had 1 verse, 1 chorus I brought to these guys, and I kind of gave them a homework assignment. Like, all right, if you guys are singing in it, you need to write your own verse. And then so every verse that every person sings, they wrote it themselves. So it's kind of it's a neat song in that general way.
Yeah, it's cool like how in the song, it tells a whole story, but everyone's got like their own the imagination on what's going on.
We
So
used
it's
it
really
so
cool.
it was through the day too. So
Yeah.
right on the first verse, it is talking about getting home from work, whatever, and you just trying to survive enough just so you can go drinking with your friends at the bar, and then it progresses throughout the night. And then Kevin's last verse is back at work the next day. Yeah.
And that's what's great about it. It's like none of us consulted each other about our verses. We literally wrote our verses and we came together, and then we realized that we were kind of telling this whole story. So it was like, yeah, okay, your part's gonna go here, like you're saying. So that was the great part. Is no one we didn't actually. There's a missing verse.
I have a verse.
He has a verse, but we've asked him to do it multiple times, and he just refuses to.
It's because obviously you can hear my voice.
Yeah, that's why. It's smooth. Smooth like butter. Yeah.
You are on the air with the Roving Scallywags. What's your question?
What's your favorite superhero?
What's our favorite superhero? Ooh. Well, can you call Batman a superhero? Because he doesn't have powers, but he is a hero.
Superhero?
He's a superhero.
Batman's my favorite.
Star-Lord. Guardians of the Galaxy all the way.
I'm gonna go with Shadowhawk.
Shadowhawk.
Wow. Give me a second. Go ahead, Nick.
Spider-Man for me.
Well, it's not Gambit.
No,
No,
I like Gambit.
Yeah, just like the tattoo.
I got a comic book theme going on my tattoos here. So that's actually Venom, and then Gambit, and I got the Punisher on the back here. Got a few other ideas, but yeah, my favorite superhero would be Spider-Man.
I got a split, so I like Colossus quite a bit from the X-Men, but I'm also a huge Hulk fan. Hulk smash!
Fits you pretty well.
There you go.
Well, thank you for the question. If anybody wants to call in, the number is 920-358-0795. We had another question here. This comes from DJ Bear, host of Amped Up, Tuesday night on Code Zero Radio. Question for Mark.
Okay.
Specifically. Your dad, Randy, is a great guitarist and a Fox Valley legend, playing in bands such as Slider and Harrison Marsh, the Harrison Marsh Band. Did he teach you how to play guitar, and do the other guys in the band have family members who play instruments? Thank you for the question, Jerry. You obviously...
Yeah, he's a family friend. Yep.
Hi, Bear.
Yeah, hey, Bear. My dad was the one who taught me how, but he really only taught me 4 chords, and then the rest was all self-taught. He gave me an acoustic. Here's E minor. Here's how to play C. Here's how to play G. Here's how to play D. So Last Kiss was my first song I learned, and from there on, I just started going from there. A buddy of his, Ray Farrell, he showed me how to read tablature when I was in middle school, and then everything, tablature from there. I started teaching it all by myself. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, your dad.
My dad played guitar. That's actually how I got started in music. I got a drum kit when I was 12, and he and I played Cream and Led Zeppelin and AC/DC and all that stuff. And I mean, really, if it wasn't for my dad, I don't know if I would really be into music as much as I am today.
Yeah, I got a lot of singers in my family. My mom sings in a singing group, Relativity, when I was younger. So they did a lot of like weddings and stuff like that. But I found out years later that my mom did dabble in guitar. I've never really saw her play, and it was like maybe 2 years before I decided to play guitar that she had gotten rid of her old one. And my sister plays. She played viola and clarinet and stuff in high school. So. My dad doesn't do anything. He said he can't carry a tune in a bucket. So
I'm an oddball. I actually came into music by myself. Really, I was one of those kids that was banging everything because I was kind of fidgety, whatever. Sitting in church, tapping on the pews, getting shh, don't do that. Yeah, pretty much. And then when I was 8, I got my first drum kit. to kind of suppress those urges to tap everywhere. So
is that ever a good gift to give a kid? Drums, like
no,
I don't know. Yeah, it was like I don't know if I could do that for my kid if I had a kid. Like it just all right. This is getting annoying.
Things were never
loud.
quiet ever again
Yeah.
in the Tyson household.
in the neighborhood too, man. Also, like a few days later when I started playing, all of a sudden you get a phone call from down the street. It's like, who's making all that racket? And I'm sitting here like,
No,
that's me. So later I did find out though that my aunt played clarinet. She was blind, so she actually couldn't read like music. So she kind of trained herself by ear, doing that and having the whole perfect pitch, whatnot.
Interesting.
And eventually, I actually did go to a 4-year college for music. Course didn't pan out, but
still
that's
get
what
the
you get.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Theory's nice to know.
Well, exactly. I mean, Mark's got theory knowledge as well from going to Fox Valley.
Yeah,
and
just
stuff
did
like
1
that.
year, and then I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do for this. Let be a composer or a teacher.
Well,
No,
exactly.
no thanks.
and that's what it really was. I mean, I was at that point. I just said, screw it, just finish out, get my bachelor's degree, and be done, and then find a real job. So,
What about you, Nick?
Well, nobody in my family ever.
Your dad, I thought,
Well,
played guitar. I
My
remember
dad
going
bought a
into-
guitar when I was younger,
Oh,
and he
'cause I remember going to your
dabbled in
basement.
it, but he didn't really play a lot. And I got my first guitar when I was 12 years old, and it just my parents were really big into like just going to concerts, and music's been a huge part of their lives, and it's part of the reason why I love music so much and love playing music is just because music's been in our family like all our lives. But yeah, I basically self-taught. My dad did teach me one thing, which I'll always remember, is just how to remember all of the strings on the guitar. E beat or Easter beat. E B G D A E. And he taught me Easter bunnies get drunk at Easter, and that's how you remember the strings. And I'll never forget that. I love it.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Bear, for the question. Really great question. Are you guys in other current bands right now? Kevin, I know you're in Audio Chonk.
Yeah, I got a couple
Yeah,
7
you're
things
busy.
going on.
7 things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're in
3 or
different
4.
stages. I play in an Irish trio. The Third Class Minstrels is basically, like I said, ball run, mandolin, and guitar, more traditional style. I play in a Clash tribute band called Complete Control. We play once or twice a year, just to have a good time with that. In Audio Chunk, I got a couple original projects that I'm working on. I'm just basically studio testing it right now, so they're not really active. And then I started it in quarantine. We started a punk rock cover band called The Residues. So basically, just playing punk rock versions of random covers and stuff. So we're hoping to maybe get out this year. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I feel like I saw you at Electric City. Were you doing the Green Day tribute?
Yeah,
Okay.
I joined them for a couple songs. Brain Stewed. I joined them for a couple songs on the Electric City Experience. So that was fun.
So yeah, I've joined a band called The Implication. Kind of
It's
it's The Implication. Yeah, it's always sunny reference. But it's a cover band. We play a lot of grunge to 90s to like 80s rock kind of stuff. So kind of going back to what Small Town Delinquents was. So it's fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a burning question we need to know. When you guys wear the kilts, I've seen video where like just a handful are wearing the kilts. Are you wearing them like traditionally? I'm sure you get asked that too, which was why I would not want to wear a kilt.
Both. I do both depending on.
That is a skirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's a skirt then.
the long running thing is if you wear anything underneath it, you don't wear traditional. It's a skirt. It's no longer a kilt.
Yep.
So quick answer is I never do. But yeah, you get that question a lot of times, and at least people are nice enough to ask you. I've had it where people have
Haven't asked.
run their hand up and grab that bare cheek. It's like, whoa. And people think it's funny, but I do laugh because I said, well, yeah, a lot of times people get annoyed when I say, hey, don't do that, because me as a man, if I did that to a woman, I would be thrown to the wolves. Why is it cool for a woman to do that to a man, walk up and just reach up their kilt? Like, that's not cool. So I'm trying to make sure that people understand, like, I get it. It's a weird thing to see. Not everyone, you're not used to seeing people in kilts, but You can ask the question, that's fine, but keep the hands off. I've stopped wearing them as much lately because I've had a couple instances where I like to jump around on stage and with the energy. And I know Craig got a show when we were at a campground when I came back and I landed on my heels and I fell over and the kilt went flying up and the look of
I saw that also.
Of terror, on his face. Just like, that's burned into my brain now.
Another instance of was the Summerfest show at the Rebel stage.
Yep.
I got another eye full of Kevin. It's been multiple times.
It's not my intention, I swear.
Like I said, I would describe it like a bombing off in a delicatessen.
Ow!
God.
Ow! That was good. Oh, that hurt.
Disturbingly accurate.
Yes.
All right, so if you're going to see the band and they're wearing kilts,
Be careful.
be careful.
He might get a free show.
Well, situation like that too, at Summerfest, wherever, that a lot of people have cameras at the ready now and are just waiting to get the next viral video, which that seems like a good opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I made the mistake when I first started wearing a kilt is we were playing at the Varsity Club down in Oshkosh, and we were playing the song "Kiss Me I'm Shitfaced" by the Dropkick Murphys, and I decided I had the microphone and I'm walking across the top of the bar. And I'm standing there singing, and I know one of the bartenders kind of did one of these like lean downs and went up and just came up and went,
No.
I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's kind of one of those things where I kind of brought it on myself.
You did.
'Cause I'm standing on top of a bar.
So people that aren't like knowledgeable on the band, where would you suggest they go to find out more about the Roving Scallywags?
I think the best place is probably our website, rovingscallywags.com, because there's pictures, there's music on there that you can stream right off of our, pretty much all of our music is on there. We do keep a Facebook page. Unfortunately, our original one, my personal account got hacked and I was the only one that had access to it. So there's two of them out there. You can like both of them, but you'll notice one is more active than the other because I lost complete control of it. Now everyone is an administrator, so we don't have to worry about that again.
I did make sure to post on the old Facebook band account that we have the new page up, so it will direct you to our new updated one. So,
but I definitely say rovingscallywags.com is probably the best way to go about it because, like I said, we got pretty much everything there. We try to keep all the dates, all the show dates up to date on there with the event calendar, and then we do announce on Facebook and stuff like that our upcoming shows.
I'd almost say coming to our shows is the best way to get to know us.
That is true. That is true.
We are a live band.
Absolutely.
Put on a show, and that's why we do that. It's more than a website.
Social media is a curse because it's like you can't see a personality on social media. So you know what? You want to have fun? Come drink with us. Come have a party with us. Come to our shows. Let me tell you, man, you can banter with us all night. We'll love it.
Can you let me know about some of the shows that are coming up in the next few weeks?
Yeah, we have the 12th. Next Saturday, the 12th, we're playing at Moore's Irish Pub in Manitowoc. Show starts at 7. We're excited. This will be the first time the full band is actually going to be playing there because the last time we played there was for their block party, and I think Nick was gone that weekend.
I wasn't able to.
Then on St. Patrick's Day, we're playing.
Thursday before is the Tosser show.
No, it's the Saturday after.
Oh, the Saturday after.
So on St. Patrick's Day, the 17th, we were playing at Appleton Beer Factory, downtown College Avenue, from 6 to 9. So we're really excited about that. This will be our second time playing there. We played there for Lagerfest, their after party, one year. Come on down. It's going to be a great time if you want to spend St. Patrick's Day the right way. I would say that's probably the best place in town that you could be.
Great food there, too, and beer, of course.
Great food, great beer, and it's a place that you can also get a shot of whiskey if you feel like it. Then we're playing the Saturday after. We're opening up for the Tossers at the Lyric Room in Green Bay. You can go to the Lyric Room's website. The tickets, I think, are $18 pre-sale, and then they go up to 20 at the door. But great Irish punk band out of Chicago. And then the Sunday after we're playing Rocky and Tara's House in Dundas. So we're gonna rock Dundas
That's
on a Sunday.
2:30 to 5:30, right?
Yeah,
Something
that's
like
an
that.
afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an afternoon gig. So
Early
if you don't want to go, if you want to have a nice midday bit of debauchery and shenanigans, it's best. I think it's a good place to go.
I want to thank you guys for hopping on the show today.
Thank you.
Appreciate
having us.
all 5 of you coming in today.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your assistance back here on the boards today. Made things a lot easier back here. Go check these guys out. Great, energetic live sets. Of course, their album is great too. Rise, and the new single is going to be out in about. I've heard it. Thank you for sending it to me.
Thank you.
It's awesome. So be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, check them out at Appleton Beer Factory. It should be a great show. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Fox Cities Core on WCZR Code Zero Radio.